Hey, what's up, everybody? This is Jewel, also known as Mr. Pristine. Welcome back to my YouTube channel, Pristine Tech. Got another review that I'm going to be doing for you today, and I'm going to be reviewing none other than the Huawei Honor 8. This is, from what I read, this is Huawei's first flagship device that is released here in the United States. I kind of find that hard to believe because I know that they've made some very quality products before that were considered mid-rangers. And they also made the Nexus 6P, which is still a very hot device. So with that said, I mean, we know that Huawei is definitely capable of making some really good products, which leads us to the Honor 8 here. So before I start doing some demonstrations with the phone, if I can just read over some specs for you really quickly, just to give you an idea of what the Honor 8 here has to offer. Now, really quickly, we've got a 5.2-inch 1920 by 1080p display. We've got 423 ppi pixel density. Got my little cheat sheet here, so it's hard to remember all this stuff. We've got an octa-core high silicon Kirin 950 processor. Now, if you're not familiar with this processor, this is one of Huawei's top processors, and it's very comparable to the Snapdragon 820. I wasn't really too familiar with this particular processor, and so I got online and I started doing some research, and I started doing some comparisons to the Snapdragon 820. And most of the information that I was able to find, the two processors side by side in a battle, they were neck and neck. I mean, there were certain tests that were performed where the Snapdragon 820 did a little better. There were other tests that were performed where the Kirin 950 did a little better. So either one of those processors, you cannot go wrong. Now, in other devices, we've already seen what the 820 Snapdragon is capable of. The Kirin 950 is just as capable, just as snappy. I mean, you've got some serious raw performing power here in the Huawei Honor 8. So you're definitely not going to have any issues navigating through the phone, managing apps, multitasking, gaming, all that type of stuff. This Kirin 950 is an absolute beast, just like the Snapdragon 820. Okay, so you're covered there. Now, we've got 4 gigs of RAM on board. We've got 32 gigs of ROM, and that's expandable with the micro SD card up to 128 gigs, which, depending on some people's usage, that still may not be enough. Some people may need to expand to 256. You don't have that capability here on this phone, according to sources. Now, we do have a fingerprint scanner on board. We've got NFC. Let's see. The build quality here, it's built with glass, and I'm not sure if it's Gorilla Glass. I just know it's glass on the front and on the back. If you could see the little glossiness there, beautiful, beautiful looking device. Very premium feel. We've got brushed metal or aluminum around the sides, bottom, and the top. All the buttons that are on the phone, they've got nice tactile responses. Nothing seems loose. When you shake the phone, I don't hear any noise. I mean, so the buttons are carefully placed and grounded as they ought to be. But yeah, this is just a beautiful, beautiful device. Now, I would recommend anyone, you definitely want to put a screen protector of some sort, whether it be just a plastic screen protector or a tempered glass protector, because you do not want to shatter this screen. This is a beautiful, beautiful display. It's not quad HD, but still, it's full 1080p, 1920 pixels. I mean, the screen it's a beautiful looking screen. So yeah, you definitely do not want to break this phone. Now, the good thing with Huawei is for people that buy this phone, if you register it, from the time that you register, you've got a screen warranty for 3 months. So if you drop this phone and you crack the front or the back of it, for the first 3 months that you've owned this phone, if you register the phone, you can send it to Huawei and they will fix the phone free of charge. They will, put a new back on or put on a new front, whatever got damaged. If both sides got damaged, if the phone dropped and rolled and you got some cracks in both sides, then they'll replace both sides for up to 3 months. After that 3 months, you're pretty much on your own. But I think that that's a nice look. I mean, hopefully within 3 months of having this particular device, you'd either have a screen protector of some sort, or you have a case on your phone to, protect the back and the sides, and things of that nature. Now, we've got a 3,000 milliamp hour battery that performs very, very, very well. I mean, very well. This phone has absolutely no issues with battery. When I first took it out of the box, it was at about 28%. And so I let that run down to about 2%. And I put it on the charger. It is a USB-C, Type-C. It does support fast charging. And so I wanted to test the fast charger. Now, I read that the phone would charge from 0 to 100 in 100 minutes. And my timing was, after this phone being on the charger for about 40 to 45 minutes, I went from 2% up to 97%. So this phone charges very, very fast. Now, it's not as quick as the dash charge on the OnePlus 3, but you're still going to get a very, very fast charging experience with the Type-C connector here on the Huawei Honor 8. Now, let's just take a look at the phone really quickly. Look at the cosmetics. With the phone being all glass, it is a fingerprint magnet. So, you will see some smudges on the phone like you see right there. Here's our 5.2-inch display. Again, you can get this phone in 3 color variants. You can get it in pearl white, which is what this variant is. You can get it in sapphire blue, which is a beautiful looking color. And you can get it in midnight black. Now, I know that I said on a previous video that I typically get all my phones in black, which I normally do. But when I was in Best Buy looking at the demo version of this phone, they had this same model, the white one. And it just looked very slick, and so I decided to go with it. But that sapphire blue and the black, those are also some very good-looking phones as well. So let's see. On the front, we've got our Honor branding. We've got our speaker there, LED flash, 8-megapixel front-facing selfie cam. Okay. To the left of the phone, we've got no physical buttons. We've got our nano SIM tray here, and that's where you also slide the micro USB or the micro SD cards for the SD expandability. We've got a noise cancellation mic. We've got an IR blaster, which is a good look, especially right now, because I know football season just started. I'm a crazed football fanatic, so if I go eat, with my family, we're at a restaurant, they got a couple games on TV, it's not the game that I want to watch, I'll call the waiter over and say, hey, would you mind turning the channel so we can watch this particular game? If she's moving too slow, you just pull your phone out your pocket, connect up to the sync to the TV, and you can just change the channel yourself with the IR blaster. So shout out to Huawei for adding that feature on there. I know a lot of phones, they're not really rocking with the IR blaster anymore. It seems to be an abandoned feature, but some phones every now and then, they'll still pack that feature on there. So it's a nice look. Now, to the right of the phone is where we got our home button, power button, sleep button, volume rocker, up and down. And let's see. Again, bottom, 3.5 millimeter headphone jack, Type-C connector, and we've got a single firing speaker right here. Now, people, don't sleep on this speaker just because it's a single firing speaker. The speaker on this phone possesses let's see, it's at DTS sound processing technology. This speaker gets extremely loud. And it's not going to be to the quality of the Axon 7 or the Alcatel Idol 4S, but for it to be a single firing speaker on the bottom of the phone, it gets very loud. And I mean, it's nice and clear at its loudest point. There's no distortion. The bass sounds rich. The sound, the voices, everything is clear. The treble is crystal clear. So it's a very, very good listening experience with this single firing speaker. Now, I'm not sure what type of DAC that this phone is housing. I typically don't do plug-in devices. I have a lot of Bluetooth. Like when I'm in my car, I connect my phone to my Bluetooth and I stream music via Spotify. And I've got some Bluetooth speakers all over the house where we just connect up wirelessly. But I'm pretty sure that if you have a wired connection and you stick it in that 3.5 millimeter headphone jack, I'm pretty sure that your experience is going to be a nice one. Now, On the back of the phone, we've got the Honor branding. We've got our fingerprint sensor, which it just isn't a fingerprint sensor. This is the fingerprint sensor. It's a capacitive key for functionality, and it's also an actual button. So this button right here, they call it the smart key, and it performs exactly like the zoom or the boom key, my apologies, on the Alcatel Idol 4S. So if you're in an app and you want some additional features to enhance your experience within that app, you push the smart key, and it starts opening up some additional features to enhance the experience. And I'm not sure exactly which apps are compatible with it, but it's something that you'd have to play around with. But that's a nice touch on Huawei's behalf. Now here we have a dual 12 megapixel camera. That's right. There's two 12 megapixel cameras right there. Imagine that. The Note 7 has one 12 megapixel camera, and we saw that camera in all its glory. This is two, one for color, the other one for monochrome. What happens is when you take the picture, the images from each lens, they're put together, they're combined, they're consolidated to produce an extraordinary picture. I mean, superb picture quality on this camera, okay? And you get some really, really nice video recording as well. Now, the video recorder, it records in full 1080p up to 30 frames per second, not 60. I know that some people may slam it over that, but me, I feel like 30 frames per second, it's sufficient enough. I mean, it definitely does the job. But yeah, so let's see, the dual my apologies. The dual rear-facing cameras are, they've got an f2.2 aperture, and then the front-facing 8 megapixel selfie cam has an aperture of f2.4. And the 8 megapixel selfie cam has delayed shooting, panoramic selfie support, which is also a nice touch for the front-facing cam. You get some really good-looking selfies with this particular device. Now, really quickly, just to kind of give you an idea of how fast this fingerprint scanner is, you see my finger right there. I'm just barely going to tap it. Boom, and it unlocks the phone. Now, the phone does not have to be on the lock screen in order for it to unlock, so you just tap it again. And I mean, I'm literally just tapping it, and it just opens right up. I love the skin that Huawei put on there. I know a lot of people don't seem to like it, but me personally, I'm a fan of it. I don't like every phone to look exactly the same, and I know that some people would prefer to have stock Android on everything. And think about it, people. There's so many companies making Android phones. You know, it's nice for a change every now and then. And so I like the skin that's on this phone. I like the way that it looks up against the white color scheme. But yeah, you see as I'm scrolling through apps, it's nice and fluid. Let's see. No lag whatsoever. Very responsive. Let's go ahead and open that Bible app. I've got it connected to Wi-Fi right now. I haven't popped in my SIM card just yet, but I'm pretty sure it may be a little faster once I'm connected to 4G LTE. But you see how fast that popped up. Let's go ahead and get out of that. We'll go ahead and open up Dropbox, which is another app that has a lot of files that sometimes can take a second to load up. And it just goes right into it, you know. So, again, you're going to get a lot of just raw power from this little device. And I say little because it's a 5.2 inch screen. I've gotten so accustomed to the 5.5, 5.7, even the 6-inch with my ZTE Z Max Pro, which is what I'm recording this video on. So for the people that knock the camera on the Z Max Pro, check this video out. Let me know what you think. This is the front-facing camera. Okay, the rear-facing camera takes some really good video quality pictures as well. But yeah, so again, this is an overall beast of a device. This is definitely a flagship phone. And another one of the most important specs, ladies and gentlemen, this is priced at $399. So this is right there with the OnePlus 3, the ZTE Axon 7. $399, ladies and gentlemen, will get you the Huawei Honor 8. So again, thanks for tuning in. If you like this video and the content and the information provided for this particular device, please hit that thumbs up, like the video, share it. If you haven't subscribed to the channel, please do. I've done a lot of good videos on a lot of great phones. Please stay tuned because I've got a lot more to come. In the meantime, stay blessed, stay safe, and definitely, and I mean definitely, stay pristine. Huawei Honor 8, y'all. Very solid phone. I would recommend this phone to anybody. Okay? Peace, y'all. See you in the next one.